devotees. Today, a very auspicious day, we gather here to honor the Disappearance Day of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, a spiritual teacher whose wisdom and devotion transformed countless lives. Srila Prabhupada dedicated his life to sharing the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna, establishing temples and inspiring communities worldwide in the path of bhakti. Let us remember his profound legacy and reflect on the deep spiritual gifts he left for all of us. On this occasion, today speakers, two wonderful devotees, His Grace Upendra Prabhu and Her Grace Nanda Vinodini Mataji. They are very well known to our congregation and are very committed and dedicated to our temple. They are ardent followers of Srila Prabhupada. Mataji and Prabhuji organize and execute various festivals such as Janmashtami, Gaura Purnima, Govardhan Puja, Diwali, etc. They also cook regularly for Sunday feast. They are pillars of support for our temple. With that, we will welcome them by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Prabhu and Mataji. 7 o'clock, we have a bhajan by Her Grace Nanda Vinodini Mataji. 7:10 onwards, we'll have class.
तुम्हार चरण धोरे ओए वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा गोरी वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा गोरी छाया बेगा दोमी छाया बेगादोमी छाया दो सातो दी छाया गौन होले उदासे ओए छाया दे हादोमी छाया दे सातो दी छाया गौना दे उदासे छाया सत्संगा दे मारे बोसेची सांगेर आशे बोसेची सांगेर आशे ओए वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा गोरी ओए वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा गोरी एकाकी आमार नाही पाया बाल हरि नाम संकीर्तना एकाकी आमार नाही बाल हरि नाम संकीर्तना एकाकी आमार नाही बाल हरि नाम संकीर्तना एकाकी आमार नाही पाया बाल हरि नाम संकीर्तना तुम्ही कृपा करी श्रद्धा बिंदू दिया तुम्ही कृपा करी श्रद्धा बिंदू दिया देहो कृष्ण नाम दाने देहो कृष्ण नाम दाने ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा गोरी ओए वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा गोरी ओए वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा गोरी से करुणा गोरी कृष्णा से तुम्हारा कृष्णा दीते पारो तुम्हारा शक्ति आछे कृष्णा से तुम्हारा कृष्णा दीते पारो तुम्हारा शक्ति आछे ओ कृष्णा से तुम्हारा कृष्णा दीते पारो तुम्हारा शक्ति आछे कृष्णा से तुम्हारा कृष्णा दीते पारो तुम्हारा शक्ति आछे आमी तो गंगा कृष्णा कृष्णा बोली आमी तो कृष्णा कृष्णा Daita bapache pache, daita bapache pache, oe Vaishnava Thakur, doyar sagar, date corona kori, oe Vaishnava Thakur, Karuna Gori, Hoy Vaishnava Thakur, Doya Sagar, Date Karuna Gori, Hoy Vaishnava Thakur, Doya Sagar, Date Karuna Gori, Hoy Vaishnava Thakur, Doyar Sagar, Edase Corona Kori, Oy Vaishnava Thakur, Doyar Sagar, Edase Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
Fast 3 minutes.
Computer? Yes.
Yes, sure. Hare Krishna, everyone. Let's begin with Shri Prabhupada and Guru Pranam mantra. Om Jnanaatimirandasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chaturumilitam Yena Tasmai
Shri Guruve Namah. Manobishtam Swapitam Vena Bhutale Swavyam Bhuvakavayam Tadati Swapadantikam
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yugapadagamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam
Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadgurutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam
Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vishtamscha
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kancha
Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu
Sute Devi Namami Hari
Vanchakalpatarubhasya
Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yatkipatam Aham Bande
Shri Gurundita Dindina Taranam
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namile Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashita Deshatarine
Jai
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita
Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, while we figure out how to present this, yes, that's the thing. Sure. Start. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Prabhuji.
First of all, we'd like to thank Satyasai Prabhu and Jaisubhadra Mataji for giving us the opportunity to come so far in this journey of Krishna consciousness. We'd like to thank devotees who have assembled here on a weekday evening to hear one of our dear, beloved Prabhupadaji's. Of course, we are not qualified. What we have done is there's a video version of Prabhupada's Leela Mirta, 42 videos, each 30 minutes each. We covered till 21 or 22 videos. It's called Adi Leela and some Madhya Leela. And so this will be a series that we talk about as we get opportunity and time. And very nice series. It talks about how Prabhupada took birth and growing up and how Prabhupada's guru is shaping up his journey of Krishna consciousness. So, but today we'll focus on Prabhupada, and at some other time we'll talk about Prabhupada's guru, some amazing pastimes. Also, we would like to keep this as a more conversational. So if you want to comment, if you remember something really important you want to share, it is that day that we share a realization and glorify Prabhupada. So please do so. Neha and I are gonna share our realizations. If we make a mistake, please forgive us. Time was a constraint, and of course, we have not read enough about Prabhupada to be able to be correct. With that, so very beautiful picture of Prabhupada getting down from the Jalduta. Coincidentally enough, I think we got connected to Prabhupada in Boston.
Yeah.
So Prabhupada, Jaladuta went to Boston and Prabhupada got down, and I think Neha had childhood connection to ISKCON. I had childhood connection to Krishna, but our connection to Prabhupada and Neha, if I'm overrating, let me know, became very strong in Boston in my student life. So that's why he's dear to all of you. It's extremely dear to us, and it's a very emotional moment for us to be able to present and talk about him, and just a drop in the ocean to glorify him. And as I said in Adi Leela, sometimes an ever-liberated personal associate of Supreme Personality of Godhead descends into this universe, just as the Lord descends. And that's how we all have different bhavas with how we connect with Krishna and how we connect with Prabhupada. We connect with him as the descendants of Krishna. Also, this verse is from Adi Leela. Another beautiful picture of Prabhupada. I think this is about 3-4 years old when he was. He was born on September 1, 1896, or as we say, appeared on September 1, 1896 on Tuesday at 4 p.m. The next day to Krishna Janmashtami, also celebrated as Nand Mahotsav, because Krishna ji was taken to the Nandgaon, so it's also celebrated Nand Mahotsav. So in fact, when he was born in his Nanihal, as they say in a maternal uncle's place, there was this utsav going on already, because at that time every homes used to celebrate Janmashtami. There was utsav going on, and then Prabhupada, Prabhupada was born on the Nand Mahotsav day. He was born to Shriman Gaur Mohan Day and Srimati Rani Day. He was named Abhay Charan. So this is again how a devotee keeps the name of another, our devotee son. And nowadays we see all these names, right? People half husband name and half wife's name, and they connect together, and they call it Adila. I don't know what all, right?
With no meaning.
Yes. So there were a lot of suggestions to Prabhupada, because he was, he was born in maternal auntie's house, and we all know the drama with the names. Right? So there were a lot of suggestions, but I think Prabhupada's father Gaur Mohan Dev was determined. He said it would be Abhay Charan. It means one who is fearless, having taken shelter of the Lord. Did anyone ever knew that he was fearless, taking shelter of Krishna? When at the age of 70s, he came all the way across the ocean. Neha, you had another explanation of the
And
aperture.
later, Prabhupada ji, as we all know, Prabhupada, we call him Srila Prabhupada. In IDC, when we were doing IDC exam, there Prabhuji mentioned the real meaning of Srila Prabhupada. He told that Shri means Srimati Radharani, La means Leela, Prabhu means Shri Krishna, and Pad means Charan. So he is the one, our Prabhupada is the one who keep on glorifying Srimati Radharani Leelas and who has taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So, yeah, so that's the beautiful meaning which I love, Srila Prabhupada meaning. And so that is the Srila Prabhupada, and we should be proud that we are associated with that person whose name has such a beautiful meaning. Yeah.
Means at the feet of Sri Prabhupada means at the feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. And that's why the whole world, the mission, Prabhupadaji's mission was to get the whole world to the feet of Krishna and Radha. Another name for the maternal uncle kept, Nandulal, because he was born on Nanda Mahotsav. So with love, they call him Nandulal. Around the same time, I think Bhakti Vinod Thakur made a prediction through his book. I think it's he wrote about teachings of Lord Chaitanya. In his book, he mentioned that very soon the chanting of Harinam Sankirtan will be spread all over the world. Oh, when will that day come? When people from America, England, France, Germany, Russia will take up kartals and mridangas and chant Hare Krishna in their towns. Another prediction was, right, there would be a person who will be born and he'll spread teachings of Lord Chaitanya all over the world. The third prediction, when will that day come when the fair-skinned foreigners will come to Sri Mayapur Dhama and join with Bengali Vaishnavas to chant Jai Sachinananda, Jai Sachinananda? When will that day be? So there were different predictions. The first one was from Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur. The other two were different predictions. Sorry, I don't remember the name and I could not cite them. So these were predictions already happening, disconnected. Prabhupadaji's family doesn't know about it.
Yeah, just imagine if there is no such kind of prediction, or Srila Prabhupada doesn't come to US, what will be our condition? No ISKCON, and he has given us so many things, right? So many temples, and that's why we just should thank him from bottom of our heart.
And one of the notes of Nanda Vinodi I was reading was, how do we thank?
Yeah.
Through our actions.
Right.
Not by saying thanks, but through our actions. Every minute, every second, we can thank by being in service of ISKCON.
And we should contribute more, like reading his books. We should be loyal to ISKCON. We should cooperate with devotees, and that will make him happy.
Yes. And there is a section where we all were introspecting the class of how can we contribute. We all are contributing. How can, New Year's resolutions, this is today that day wherein we take a Prabhupada resolution of what can we do more. But we'll get to that. Even Prabhupada's horoscope was shown to a Panditji when he was born, and he was in awe that I have never seen a horoscope like that this person is going to take sannyas and spread the name of Krishna in the Western world. So before we go further, I think we all are emotional today, a very special day for us. A question, how did you get connected to ISKCON and Sri Prabhupada? Any special stories that you can share that inspires others? Anyone who breaks the ice? Yes, Prabhuji.
Not connecting this one, but I will tell you one thing. Like, I haven't shared with anyone any congregation. This is a small congregation. Years back in '99, when I was going to New Jersey from California, my sister-in-law said that my cousin lives in New Jersey. His name was Anush Pandya. So I just went straight to their house. And many years have passed, and after many years, recently, I think a couple of years back, Mom was reading Prabhupada's book, and my sister-in-law came. We are Gujarati, so she just said, I said, she's going to the book, and she saw that Captain Pandya, and she said, he's my mama, like he's
Right.
my mother's brother. So we know that family well. Then I really go. I stayed in Captain Pandya's son's house in New Jersey.
Right.
So, and then again, the other day I was reading a book, like, when the video is, Prabhupada asked Captain Pandya to buy the book, and he tried to get more dollars than
Yes.
required.
Right.
Then I felt, there is some connection between the families. And Captain
Yes.
Pandya.
Yes.
I have a sister-in-law, uncle, so I stayed in Captain
Right.
Pandya's son's house in New Jersey.
And of course, you ate prashadam. Yes. Yes. So this is how I call it. When you look back, I mean, your life is a set of dots, right? Not created by you, right? It's Krishna's mercy and Prabhupada's mercy. When you look back, you see meanings to the dot. When you look back 25 years back, you saw meaning to that dot, right? When we look back 10 years back, when we came to the US, I don't think so we'll be here if ISKCON and Prabhupada was not there. I think we both are used to going to temples, used to this life. So until we got shelter in Boston, we were like a machli, right? Not liking it. And I had spent already 100K in my MBA. We can't roll back and go back. But we were not liking it. So we all have those dots. Our dots connect to 2014 when we were in Boston. Actually, 2015 when we were in Boston. Your dot connects to 1999.
I got connected to ISKCON when I was in my childhood, when I was just 15-year-old, and I always used to go with my parents to ISKCON Vrindavan, and I used to think, who is this person who can bring so many foreigners? So many foreigners are doing so much bhakti more than us, and they are dancing, and and they are in so much ecstasy, and we can feel that what we are doing and what they are doing, it's so different. They were so pure devotees. So that just motivated me, and that's my connection with Srila Prabhupada.
And they say when you dance in Krishna consciousness, that's one of your measures of how advanced you have become in Krishna consciousness. So I remember, when we go to ISKCON, all these foreigners are jumping, and a lot of sannyasis also jumping with joy, and a lot of non-devotees are, enjoying, but they are. I don't want to dance. That was me also many years back, right? I think our advancement is how we give the control and surrender to Krishna. So when the music we hear, we dance, right? To Krishna's music. So 2 stories. Any other stories on how did you get connected to Prabhupada and ISKCON? Quickly, and then we'll move forward. Yes.
I was there are 2 connections. Major connection in the US, minor connection. One fine day I came from a school, and I saw a book distribution van with 2 persons standing like this. I don't know who are they. Being a child, I was just little curious, and they were selling all the books, and they were selling mini-sized Bhagavad Gita for 1 rupee. Yeah, very small thing. I had one rupee at that time, and I just got. After that, no connection. I came to United States in 2003. I was in Arkansas. I moved to Florida in 2006. One fine day, I think Prabhu knows this story.
Just-
And so one fine day, I did not bring my lunch. And my lab mate, she told me that there is a place in campus where you get vegetarian food. Why don't you go and get it? Okay, I went there, and I am seeing a foreign body person with dhoti and kurta, wearing cover and serving prashadam. I inquired, what is all this going? So he told me that we are from ISKCON. My name is Daru Brahmadas. People call me Daru. That's not Daru.
Daruk.
Daru
Yes.
is Jagannath. So he said, if you like to know more about it, we are just across the street.
Nice.
So that is how I started.
Very
Right.
nice, Prabhu.
So means with food, I got connected.
Prasadam.
Yes.
Right.
And they say, right, Krishna is present in every object. Of course, Bhagavatam, Gita is Krishna's extension. So that's why we distribute to even a non-devotee, right? And, sometimes people have so many inhibitions. can I give it to him? How will, how will he keep it? Especially, I've grown up in, I've lived in certain houses, very authentic, staunch Brahmins. How will the book be kept? Would it be left? Right. Who will touch it? I think those inhibitions are not needed if the book is considered as an extension of Krishna. Then it's pure in itself. So I think that's the dot. And I'm spending more time on this because we get so busy in life, also busy in our service, that we don't go back to that moment that transformed our life. And when we remember that moment that transformed our life, we will be working with extra energy to transform others' life. So that's why we go back to those moments that transformed ourselves. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing. Any Matajis want to share any realization?
Mataji.
Yeah, I remember how I got connected to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada is of course through devotees. Guruvani Mataji and Vaishnavi Prabhu. But how it got that when we came to US, I was also missing that Prabhu, we were missing that environment of temple, as you said, because we are so used to that.
Right.
And I heard the sermon somewhere. The church people give sermon, and they were explaining the Bible. And I was thinking how nice it would be if someone could explain Bhagavad Gita like that.
Right.
Because we all grew up where we knew how to worship and all, but we were never connected to scriptures.
Right.
And so when I used to hear sermons, and I found it very interesting how they explain it. And I was looking for someone explaining Bhagavad Gita. And then Guruvani Mataji, one of my friends, she told we have some program there at their place. And that day it was the advent of Bhagavad. And they
Nice.
read the entire Bhagavad Gita,
Wow.
gave one Bhagavad Gita to us, and just holding that Bhagavad Gita, it just so
Brought joy.
wonderful moment. And that's when we came to know about Srila Prabhupada through them, and we are eternally indebted to them.
Thanks for sharing, Mataji. Hari Bol. So this reminds me, the prediction in English also says that one day there'll be a church-like organization across the world which will not care about your color of skin, which religion you belong to, what your past deeds are. It will invite you to Krishna's home. So that was the prediction, and how positively we see things in other religion, and then do it in for ISKCON is the story, right? Sometimes we could have not gotten inspired from the sermon distribution, but how positively you took the sermon, and then I connected to the prediction that happened that ISKCON is that temple, that church. Oftentimes when Westerners, I'm talking to so many Westerners for our events, when I talk, I start with it's like a church. Because I don't know how, I'm not qualified to explain it any other way. So I put them in, I try to put myself in their shoes and say it's like a church, but it's Krishna's church, right? And then I get them slowly to temple, right? So amazing story, Mataji. Thank you. In interest of time, I think we covered this. What's inspired you to join the movement? This was way back. Like, look at Prabhupadaji's imagination and how big he used to think. This was way back in 70s when these posters were put in Pune and Bombay. Because Prabhupada wanted to ensure that everyone hears that there is a Pandal program in Bombay or in Pune. And he would ensure that devotees do everything they need to advertise that there is a Pandal program. And literally, first Pandal program in Bombay or Mumbai, as it is called now, thousands of people came. Thousands of people. First Pandal program, right? Prabhupada ki jai. This slide is super important. I know Nandini, you want to also talk about it. It's about, we all are grihasthas. We have kids, right? So let's first talk about Prabhupadaji's father, Sriman Gaur Mohan De, was himself a staunch Krishna devotee. Daily do deity services, kirtan, give prasadam to Vaishnavas. At least 4 or 5 Vaishnavas will come to his house every day. So, Mataji used to prepare extra food because by default, somebody will come. Also take part in Sankirtan. He would also take Prabhupada to Radha Govind temple almost daily. We just been to Radha Govind temple, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to just quickly talk about this pastime and then we go further?
Yeah, so we went to, this time we went to Calcutta and we saw Prabhupadaji's house, and that you can feel the divine power over there. you can feel that Prabhupada ji is still there. Just the way we feel when we go to Vrindavan and in Prabhupada, kutir, we just sit and do chanting. So that's the power of Prabhupada ji. And as Umesh was saying that Prabhupada ji's father was such a nice devotee, and Prabhupada always says in his book that because of my father, I learned everything, right? And that I think is the main part, because nowadays we get so busy in our life that we don't teach our kids. And I think every devotee in devotee family, we should teach our kids how to do everyday puja. And just like I also want Meera to do everyday puja so that she can love DT form, right? And that's how they get connected, and that's how their bhakti start. Like my father always used to say that you have to wash the place, wash the temple, and then every day you have to take care of whether the DTs are in proper dress or everything. You have to take care. So I used to feel that this is my duty. I need to keep everything clean, and and that's what Prabhupada always mentioned in his books and everywhere, that cleanliness and taking care of the DT form is a must, and which every kid should learn.
And the point to stress here is these sevas, like Prabhupada ji was doing out of joy.
Yeah.
His activities as a child, 4-year child,
Every
was,
day.
giving bath to the deities, because he got, and in one of the slides I'm talking, he got deities when he was 7,
Yeah.
right? Gifted by his father, doing kirtan. It was his activity. He wouldn't want to go and play. He wouldn't want to even go to school. I mean, there was a dedicated person to drag him to school because he didn't want to go to school. I'm not saying we should do that. Okay.
You should study.
Yeah. But the point is that we should teach our kids this so that they develop the bhav, not as a chore. Oftentimes as parents, we develop that as chore. And in non-devotee families, when we were in India, we saw it more, that mom and dads, for hours they are doing, they're reading Gita, Bhagavatam and deity services. And kids, I know this is getting recorded, so I'm not naming anyone, but I've seen tens of examples of kids not even knowing what to say, and some don't even know how to stand in front of the God. Unfortunate, right? I think through our kids, we should inspire other families to develop that bhav, that when they grow up, they are carrying our traditions, as Prabhupada ji carried forward father's tradition. So that's the point here. Prabhupada ji nicely connected in his childhood to everything, and he writes further in one of his books that I learned everything from my father, but writing books and distributing books, that's something he developed himself, but everything else he learned from his father. Okay. Now I write maybe at the age of 14. So this is about Prabhupada ji getting to know about predictions and his father's instructions to chant. So at the age of 14, I say maybe because there are different articles and they have different ages, and I could not verify. Prabhupada ji's mother was sick, but still making kachoris for him. We all know Prabhupada ji loves kachori, right? So mother was very sick, still cooking kachoris. Prabhupada ji said, I'm not going to eat it. You are sick. You got to take care of yourself. And then she has a nice conversation that there is no guarantee to life, that she and father wanted Prabhupada ji to become great Krishna Bhakt and spread Krishna's message in the Western world as per the prediction. In fact, there are many mentions on how the mom and the dad are having conversations. The mother was saying that to the dad that he needs to learn English and have a degree to have that weapon that when he goes to the Western world, he can fight with the Western world through his words of Krishna consciousness. That was mother's message. Clear. Look at the clarity. And father's message was he has to be a Krishna Bhakt. And they balanced how Prabhupada ji was grown up. So this is his mother's message. And at this very same night, Prabhupada ji and the father are having conversations, and they're having conversations about, did you get medicine for my mother? Why do you always have to consult a British doctor? Did medicines didn't exist in India before Britishers came? They have all this nice conversation, and Prabhupada's father came to a point that Hare Krishna Mahamantra has the healing power. There was a lot more details in the conversation, so I'm summarizing it. My apologies. That Hare, so don't take it that I'm saying that medicines don't cure, but Hare Krishna Mahamantra has the healing power, and that was first instruction by anyone to Prabhupada ji to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra in time of pain, and especially in time when you're sick. So this is just some querying us, right? How are we engaging our kids? Are we engaging them to do deity services at home, deity services at the temple? Are we engaging them to, do seva at home when there's Janmashtami? Can we engage them into creating artworks at home and at the temple? Can they clean the utensils at the kitchen? Can they make the garland? They may not make the best garland, maybe the worst garland is the first one, but can we engage them so that their playful activities are also Krishna's service? And I'm especially stressing on physical seva because, kids have so much energy, right? And also, would they listen to us when we ask them to chant whole day or read whole day? Most of them wouldn't. Some kids like reading, wouldn't. And that's why engaging them in physical seva, puts their energy to the right use and creates lifelong impressions in their mind that you wouldn't have to instruct them once they grow old. Because once they grow old, individuality will take over. They would listen less to us, but they will listen to those impressions in the mind. And that's why it's so important for us to bring our kids to seva, to do seva at the temple, at home. And that's the activities they're doing so that they grow up to become like us, right? Doing seva for our temple. Nandu, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, Prabhupada ji did Rath Yatra very early age. His father taught him, and that was the best thing. As Umesh was Upendra Prabhu was mentioning that we should teach our kids, and I also think so because in our childhood we had seen lot of jhankis and Janmashtami, at Janmashtami time, and whole how Mathura used to lit up or Vrindavan used to lit up, and that's what I have impression in my mind that yes, this is the way we should celebrate our Janmashtami, this is the way we should celebrate our Diwali, and that's what I think we should imbibe that to our kids so that they can be a future, they should not. I think by doing physical seva, what me and Upendra Prabhu wants to say is, it just give them love to Krishna, by doing service, they just get connected to Krishna. I know by reading also, by reading books, they get connected, but some kids, they just have this impression in their mind for their whole life. So that's the big thing. What Prabhupada ji also got Rath Yatra from his father.
Yes, stressing again. At 5, he did his first Rath Yatra.
Yeah.
So the story goes that he went to the Radha Govinda temple, saw a Rath, and like a 5-year-old kid, I want this Rath home, I want this Rath home. And the father said, I will build a Rath with you. So he didn't build for him, he built with him. Example, very important point. With him, and then they did a Rath Yatra, right? At the 5. At 7, he got Radha Govinda deities as the gifts. We say as we will grow in our consciousness, we'll stop giving material gifts, we'll rather start giving Krishna conscious gift, right? At the age of 7, I think he stopped getting material gift from his father in most cases. This is another story. As we move along, I think by now Prabhupada ji is 14 or 15 years dealing with sorrow. So after he had this conversation and mother was sick, after a year probably, mother died. Prabhupada ji, of course, was very, very sorrowful for many months, not just days. He even asked his father, why did Krishna do this to my mother? She was a devotee. And his father would have many, many examples to soothe him. But the biggest that stood out for me is the Chitraketu's story. Many of you would know it. So the story goes at a very high level. There was a Maharaj. He was having many wives, but not a single kid. So he prayed, and he wanted a kid. His Guru Maharaj told him that it's not destined to you. So if it still happens, you'll both be joyous and at one point sorrowful. But he wanted it, so he got the blessing. He did a lot of aradhana. He got the blessing. He got the child. The other Ranis got envious because he would only spend now time with the child and the wife of the child, and his wife, right, mother of the child. With envy, developed that plan to destroy, right? So the other wives gave poison. They had a plan, gave poison to the kid. It was not destined, right? And still, the father and mother didn't suffer. The kid had to suffer. Poor kid. Of course, Chitraketu is very, very sorrowful, wants to end his life, and he's again praying, and Naraji is there trying to console, but nothing is flying. So merciful Naraji is, he said, okay, there's only one way. Chitraketu, because he was a good devotee, Chitraketu would understand. So he put the soul back in the child's body. The child wakes up, right? And the child says, I'm not this body. I've had many fathers and mothers. I'm simplifying, and I also don't remember exactly the story. I'm not this body. I have many fathers and mothers. So you move on from me. The only supreme father you have is Krishna. So take shelter of Krishna, and that's how you will get out of this sorrow. And Chitraketu Maharaj took shelter of Krishna, and the wife who gave birth took shelter of Krishna, became very good devotees. There are two learnings here. Both, what can envy do to us, right? And to people surrounding us, and to the atmosphere around us. Destruction. There's nothing like good envy, bad envy, right? There is nothing like shaping an envy to be right. An envy is an envy, or it's a false ego. We all have it. We all are conditioned, right? But we can check it using Chitraketu's story, right? That envy brings destruction to us and to others. Does no good to us, right? We may feel for temporarily that we are above somebody else, right? Or our plan is working. No envious person's plan would work. At the end of the day, Krishna will prevail, right? The sooner we understand, the better for us, right? So that's one thing, one learning. The other one, Prabhupada ji says, envy is a disease, right? So as we get blood pressure, I had a few days of blood pressure, and Neha had a full action plan for me, right? No eating rice, no eating rotis, right? So we human beings get so scared when we have a disease, right? Which has the possibility of killing us, right? Envy is that disease. It will destroy us, right? Sometime, and the problem is, it's such a bad disease that it will destroy others as well in the process, bringing bad karma to us. So let's treat this like Prabhupada ji said, that envy is a disease, and we keep it away no matter what. Nandamurti, do you want to add anything? Okay.
The Chitraketu's story, what I heard, like I heard from other Swamiji, was that that was very interesting. I never knew about it. That Chitraketu, they said that you get you back to the life. He's saying, why should I have this life? Because in one of my previous lives, I killed so many kinds of some animals, hundreds and hundreds of them. He said that in this life, all the queens together, they killed. So I'm done.
Right. Right.
So otherwise I had to take so many lives.
Yes.
One life.
Right.
It won't be possible.
Yes. That's why having devotee parents is so merciful, right? because all your past karmas as parents also for the child also vanish just because we take surrender of Krishna. I only heard one version of the story through the Prabhupada Leela Mitra, but yes, Prabhu, my realization with that version would be that devotees are merciful, devotees as parents are merciful, and devotee childs are also merciful, and that's why we need more devotees. Okay, exciting. Prabhupada ji is at 16, first visit to Puri. So he was at 16, and by this time I didn't mention because of lack of time that this time he's already married to Srimati Radharani, right? A girl named Srimati, Mataji named Srimati Radharani. So at 16 there's a college break, and students are discussing. Everyone is discussing where should we go. Goa is in the list. Ooty is in the list. All material places you name it is in the list. Prabhupada ji had only two things in the list: Puri or Vrindavan. No matter how how others tried to convince him, he was not convinced. And this reminds me always about Sarveshri Mataji's class: giving association, taking association. He was giving association in this case, but not taking association. Okay, I listen to you, but I'm not like you. I am Drin Nishay. I want to go to Puri or Vrindavan. So he did, and there was one thought I had and I forgot. Nandavinoda, do you want to add something?
Yeah. So as Upen Prabhu told that Prabhupada ji always have Vrindavan or Puri in his heart. So that reminds me that Prabhupada took Vrindavan to the whole world, and that's why he created so many Vaikunthas for us. And he named his Vaikuntha like New Vrindavan or Radhadesh, so that much pure devotee he was.
Or Hare Krishna temple of
Yeah,
also,
or
right?
Hare
To
Krishna
Prabhupada is
temple of
awesome.
also,
Yes.
for sure. So Prabhupada always want to take Vrindavan with him. So that reminds me.
Yes, and which is one of the lectures he said, Puri is an extension of Vrindavan Dham, and all ISKCON temples are extension of Vrindavan Dham. HKTA, ISKCON Sidapa, is an extension of Vrindavan Dham. So yes, we, the other day, Prabhu, you and I were talking. You're going to Vrindavan again. We were like, we want to go again. Yes, Krishna will call you, but this is also Vrindavan, right? And Prabhupada's instructions.
Once
This- yes.
Tamal Krishna Prabhu, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he told Prabhupada, how many pure devotees are there in the whole world? Then Prabhupada told, all ISKCON devotees are my pure devotees. And that was the amazing thing. All ISKCON devotees are my pure devotees.
Nice. In fact, we got stuck in India, right? And we did a lot of journey. So I had a very good friend in Seattle. I just went to Seattle. And he's like, I told him about what we did. He was like, tell me one material place you went other than all these spiritual places. And he's like, I'm not being sarcastic. I just want to know one material place you went. We didn't plan it like that. I like Bombay, so I'm committing. I would want to go to Bombay and sit by the beach, but still chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? But his point was, and that reminded me that yes, when you are in Krishna's mercy, you don't feel like going to Goa, right? So we went to. He was like, why did you not go to any non-spiritual place? I told, hey, I did not plan it, but Krishna planned it this way, and. So if we surrender, our dhams are in our home and our temple, and then we only go to places, Krishna only arranges us to go to places wherein we can be taken care of, right? So that's another realization. So let's move further in the story. So when Prabhupada ji went to Puri, by this time the wife had heard about the predictions. So Srimati Radharani, Mataji was already scared. And then he didn't take her because he wanted to go alone. And I think when they got married for first few years when Prabhupada ji was staying, Mataji was still staying at, the parents' house. So he did not take her. So they referred to the prediction and said, he's not going to come back, right? But Prabhupada ji did come back. He very well knew his responsibilities, right? That the father has attached to him. And he also knew that it is not yet the time for me. So he did come back, and we all know, served his responsibilities before the greater responsibility called him, and we'll talk about it in later slides. So in the Puri pastime as well, Prabhupadaji's father, arranged a stay for him in a Vaishnava house. Somebody's house they knew since, father knew since childhood. So Prabhupada goes and stays in their house, and they very nicely bring a plate of prasadam. And Prabhupada could see there is meat in it. I'm like, Prabhupada was like, are you serving me meat? It's like, yes, because we thought that will be special for you. Like, and then Prabhupada in this particular case, see how merciful, kind, and loving he always is, but then how angry he can get constructively. He said, don't you know Vaishnavas should not eat meat? I cannot accept this food. And he just got up and went to his room. Next day, he takes darshan of Puri, comes back, and poor host. This time they prepare vegetarian food. Okay. Prabhupada says, I still cannot take it. Mataji asks why. Because it's cooked in the same utensil you cook non-veg. Fast forwarding the story, and Satyasai Prabhu, correct me if I'm wrong, they became the first probably followers of instruction of Prabhupada. They left meat eating by the time Prabhupada left their house. They committed to Prabhupada that we will never in our life eat meat, and we'll be a Vaishnava like Vaishnavas should be. So that's I thought, a very important pastime. It's correction, as a devotee, we should be humbly, constructively correcting others, right? When the other person can listen to that correction, they say, when we all go to our families, not everyone is Krishna conscious, right? Some of us are lucky to have Krishna conscious parents, but not everyone. This time there was a very close relative of us. They didn't even call us to a birthday because they will have to go through the hassle of no onion, no garlic food. This happened in our India trip, right? So what I'm trying to say is, yes, you won't force someone, but ignoring and not spreading Prabhupada's instructions is kind of, they say, right, you're kind of being with them if you don't tell them, right? Now, of course, you can tell them, not drag them, but Prabhupada's instructions should be heard. As Prabhu got, stayed 1999 in somebody's house, you got a book, she had childhood pastime and I had 2014 pastime. We all need to have that drop. Put that drop in ears of a devotee or non-devotee. Maybe in another pastime, in another lifetime, they will change. But our job is to put that drop, right? So that's the learning that I took from Prabhupada. He was constructively very angry looking at the meat food. I would be. Okay, going further. So another thing that happened in Puri pastime is, these pandas, right? I know Neha can relate to it. First time I went to Vrindavan was after I got married. In our house, we'll do Janmashtami watching Mathura. But unfortunately, I could not go to Vrindavan until I got married. So first time I went to Vrindavan, and these pandas are all over, we can show you this, we can give you that. And I am getting angry. And my father-in-law is trying to tell me, calm down. This is how Vrindavan is, right? And I would get angry. So now I relate that to, why we behave the way we behave, because, we have blessings from people like Prabhupada. Prabhupada was being attacked by pandas. He was getting a little bit angry, but then he got a very good pandit. Selfless pandit, I would say, who spent hours with Prabhupada explaining about the Mahima of Puri, why it is the extension of Vrindavan Dham, and told him the story about how the Jagannath form came about. Right? With the lack of time, I think you all know it, or offline we can talk about it. Yes, so I'm moving forward faster with the lack of. There's a very beautiful story. If you don't know, go look it up. How the Jagannath Subhadra Baldev form came about. Extremely amazing story. But I'll tell, the hand is this way, right? Because the devotees are the deities are so merciful. They're saying, come to me. Krishna is calling, come to me. Self-sufficient, but telling, come to me, eat prasadam, because I am bhuka for your love, right? Jagannath is the food. He is bhuka both for food and love. So that's the form, a very beautiful story.
I just want to add, in Puri when we went, it was very much crowded. We have 2 kids. Mohan was crying. He's all over the place. But the main pandit of the temple, he just saw tilak on my head, and we were in gopi dress. Umesh was in dhoti, and Mohan, Meera were fully dressed up as devotees. So he was telling me, Radhe, Radhe, come here, Radhe, Radhe. And I was thinking, now he will again ask me for money. Or Mataji, take something, I will give you
Or
something.
real version is he will fool Upendra
Yeah.
Das again.
Yeah. So I was very scared. Then Umesh told, no, he was calling you again and again. Then that same Pandit told me that then we started talking, and he told, yeah, I also went to Mayapur for Narasimha new temple opening. I told, yeah, we were also there. Then there was one guard who came that, sorry, you can't have darshan. And I was like, no, we came from very far. Please give us darshan. Please, we want to go inside. Then he told, no, let them go inside because they are Mahajan. Then I was like, okay. He told, no, they belong to Prabhupada family. They are Mahajan. They will go. And I was like, Prabhupada ji.
And it literally
Srila
happened.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah. So I think such a big responsibility when we wear tilak, dhoti, or we just say that we belong to ISKCON, automatically a mountain full of responsibility comes to us, right? Not that we get buried with it, but rather we get inspired to use that responsibility to do more. And that was a depiction, right? That Prabhupada saved us. It's almost in the middle of the night, right? And you know, Puri, thousands of people flock in Puri. Okay, the learning from the Puri Dham's pastime is, have we developed such a love for Vrindavan, Mayapur, or Puri yet? Let alone have we been able to develop such a love for our own temple, HKTA? Because wherever Krishna and Radha are, as Prabhupada's instruction says, there is Vrindavan. So we are developing and mature. We all need to develop that deep bhav for our temple, because it is an extension of Krishna Radha, of Vrindavan, of Golok Vrindavan, and an extension of what Prabhupada wanted us to bring to this world. To feel Vrindavan here is HKTA. Other thing I learned is the Brahmana gave so much pastime and developed the deep love for Puri in Prabhupada without asking for a dakshina, without asking for anything. Right? We were even asking that you remember me. That's how selfless as devotees who should be spreading Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message and ISKCON's message. Without expectation. Right? How will they respond? Will they read my book? Don't know. Right? Will they ever turn to me? We don't know. Do we control? We don't. Our job is to spread the word in a nice manner, not that we force someone. Right? I used to go to a gym, and I would talk about most of our life. All of our life is temple, right? So oftentimes in different chats, also at office or with some non-devotee friends, temple topic comes up. It comes, and he tells me, I'm a religious person, but I follow, Jesus. I'm like, I'm so glad that you are God conscious, right? And please don't take it as I'm trying to, call you to Krishna. I'm very happy that you are God conscious, because you were very sensitive on the topic of Krishna versus Jesus. I'm like, I'm very happy that you are God conscious. Don't we need more God conscious people in this world, right? We do. It's 8:04, so I'm just trying to be fast. There's another criticism. I think we saw how Prabhupada criticized the so-called Vaishnava family eating fish, right? So we all should have. My father used to say, "Nindak nere rakhe agan kuti savai bin." Can somebody come? Bin sabun bin pani bin sabuna nirmal kare suhai. Right? Keep a critic near you. Right? Who can correct you? Prabhupada's instructions are that critic. Not long ago, I used to drink chai, right? And I would tell Satyasa Prabhu, that's the biggest blocker for me, because in my first conversation with Nandini in my marriage decision table, chai had 3 questions on chai. Do you drink chai? Would you enjoy chai with me? So, I grew up in a Brahmin household, but I did not know that chai is not a thing to be drank, because until I got connected to ISKCON, chai is such a way of life, right? In fact, when we went to Calcutta, Prabhupada, Nandamuni did not tell me. She requested Prabhupada ji, can you change Umesh's mind that he takes initiation? Because between me and initiation, it was chai.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking. Between me and initiation, it was chai. And chanting overcame that. One fine day in March, we were chanting in India, and I was reflecting on life, and I had enough time because I was only half working, so I had enough time to read Prabhupada's books and reflect. And people say there's so much power in chanting, and Prabhupada has spent so much number of hours. I can humbly tell my story. Between me and initiation was the chai, and it's the 16 hours of chanting that killed that association between me and the chai, right? And allowed us to be ready for being the servant of the servant. So there's nothing that can stop us from getting to Krishna's ISKCON. We all are attached to so many things, were attached to so many things. If we chant regularly, chant seriously, and Prabhupada's instructions we hear and internalize, we will change that. We will see that our behavior is changing. And that is the measure of success in Krishna consciousness, right? Is our behavior changing for good as a Vaishnava? If it is, we are doing our rounds wisely, we are doing our sadhana wisely. If it is not, nothing to worry, at least we are doing something. The more you do, we'll get there. And I'm getting instruction that we are 6-7 minutes. So I think we can continue this further later, Satyasai Prabhuji, when I get an opportunity. I probably end with this slide. Prabhupada only physically departed. He's spiritually present with us. With our bhav of connection, your bhav to connection to Prabhupada is different than my bhav. He's present with us through his instructions, through his 108 temple. It's 6 years we're trying to build HKTA. He built in 10 years 108 temples, right? And when I was reflecting on this, I'm like, shame on me, right? We got to do more, right? So he lives there. He lives with us through his instructions, through HKTA, through our Siksha Guru, through our Diksha Guru. We just need to realize it every day, and may every second, every minute of our life, and I mean it, every second, every minute of our life, be in service of Prabhupada, because his mission is not done yet. His mission is not achieved yet. His mission would not be achieved if we make this hall a bigger hall. His mission would not be achieved if we make this temple a bigger temple. His mission is beyond one temple, beyond one family, beyond one country, beyond one continent. So we all need to come together as a drop in that mission. Can we do more than a drop? No. We are servants of the servants. But as that drop in the mission, so that we can take this mission further. Sri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
And sorry we took more time. It's our first time, so we are still learning how to time it.
Hare Krishna devotees. Prabhu, will you take 1 or 2 questions?
Yes.
If any. One question.
Today I was looking at the calendar. It was given by Gaudiya devotee to us, and it exactly talks about the Srila Prabhupada is saying that how happy my Gurudev is that today the books are being distributed everywhere. He's not there, but he's still there. He'll be very happy.
Yes.
Spirit is there.
Yeah.
Today you entered it. I read it today in the morning.
Thank you.
Nice, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu, for nicely sharing your reflection. So, thank you, Prabhu. The lack of time, we are moving on next program. But before that, wonderfully explained the prediction and Prabhupada's how he is in Nitya Siddha. And wonderful point you mentioned, that fearlessness. So taking shelter of Lord Krishna also, we should have that fearlessness. That is Prabhupada is, that you nicely mentioned that he came at the age of 70 to the unknown place, and where he is not familiar with, and no one did that at that age. And how he developed bhakti at early age, and various pastimes of Prabhupada you have touched upon. Thank you for nicely sharing both Mataji and Prabhuji. So with that, we will show our, please give a big round of applause. And we chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Prabhu and Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now please form a line. We will offer flower petals to Srila Prabhupada and collect sweet prasadam before you go. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thanks. चलेगा कोई बात नहीं प्रभु आगे निकलता है तो आई विल लेट यू हाँ कोई बात नहीं प्रभु माता जी